So here's my question to you. What was it that got you, Clive Owen, to say yes to doing a television show?
Well, Steven Soderbergh called me up, said, I've read the script, I think I want to turn it into a TV series. I read that script and 45 minutes later knew that I'd be doing it because the writing.
So you only
was
read
so
the
good.
pilot?
Only, and that's all he had.
That's all he had?
Yeah, and it was just, that first episode was just one of the most original things I'd read, you know, and it was hugely exciting. And for a take on a period thing, it was kind of visceral and contemporary and unusual and edgy and difficult, and I was just set alight by it.
When he brought it to you, did he say, and I'll be directing all 10 episodes?
Yeah.
Because for me personally, I would then feel safe.
Yes, for sure.
Okay.
No, that was a huge part of it. The fact that he was going to be at the helm for, not only the first one. It wasn't that he was going to kick it off and then hand it over to somebody. He said, no, I'm going to do the lot. So obviously that's a huge security. You
have the luxury, right? He shoots all 10 and then it goes on the air.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, we'll shoot the first 5 and then it starts.
And so you're
and then we get behind.
Yeah.
So we never have
and
that luxury of time.
How far ahead do you get scripts?
We start a new episode on Wednesday, and I just got the script last night.
I would hate that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's hard.
It's really hard.
Yeah. You get used to it, but it's hard.
That time just to digest to me is like everything. I'm one of those sort of anal people that's like, I need to sit on it for a while. I need to think about it. That would terrify me. It would, but that's just.
Well, it's terrifying.
And what happens if there's things in it you don't like?
Well, I have to say, our showrunners, Robert and Michelle King, they send the script, and they write in the email, please let us know if there's anything you would like changed, and they say this to all the cast, not just me, but if you have problems with anything, and they're very open to dialogue. The problem with our show is I'm pretty much in every scene, so I just don't have the time.
Of course.
So then they get a lot of phone calls from supporting players who have time to ruminate on their character, where I'm just like, what do I have to say? Okay, I can make it work.
And how far ahead do you memorize?
Well, that's a very good question. So the problem is I have so many lines all the time, especially when I'm in court. So for example, yesterday, I was in court all day, and I couldn't memorize my lines for Monday, which is a bigger court day, until I get those lines out of my head.
Of course. The way we remember things, we prioritize, and things fade away.
Right.
Like we literally choose.
Right.
They did some tests of putting things in front of people and gradually fading something away. And the way that the brain was stimulated means that we prioritize our memories. And I was thinking about that in terms of like learning lines and things. I did a thing years ago with the kids that was very funny. I met my wife in a cheesy way, playing Romeo and Juliet. We played Romeo and Juliet.
That's not cheesy, it's
romantic. I've always said this thing, that's what you do as an actor, because you're always constantly learning and going through this thing, that it's all kind of there, but you just prioritize, you just let that go, so the kids got out a copy of the play. I couldn't remember a single line.
You couldn't remember one line from Romeo and Juliet?
And they were giving me the cues, and I was like, no.
Nope. Don't have it. That's what happens. My thing is I have to look at them before I go to sleep.
Oh, wow.
Because then I feel like somehow,
they're going to go in.
Osmosis, maybe, I don't know, like, just go in. I don't know about you. Do you film in sequence?
No.
No, never.
No.
So neither do we.
He doesn't shoot episodically either.
What?
Yeah.
How does he shoot?
So if I go to my home, like in the first season, everything was done in 2 days for the 10 episodes.
How do you keep track of that?
I have a big whiteboard on the wall that says episode, scenes, so I know.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So all 10 are written then?
Yeah.
So you actually, it's like a gigantic movie.
Yeah. That's the way it was done.
That's amazing.
That's the way he did the first.
So you know how your character...
You know everything, and then similar to what you were saying, you're looking ahead and tweaking things and talking to the writers about things that may be coming up in a little while. But no, you have the full 10, you have the full arc, and they're in pretty great shape. When we did that first season, it was so close to him sending me that script that the whole thing came together, and I was thinking, well, there's no way we'll have all 10 scripts. Right. We did.
He had them.
We had 10 scripts, and they sort of brainstormed it. They got the shape, they got the arc, and they were in really good shape as well.
But where do you do those huge street scenes? Because where is it?
He was very excited when he found the exterior of the hospital.
Yeah.
and saw that he could look almost in any direction and dress it for 1900, and said, we've got the outside of the hospital, so we go and do the sort of sweeps of people arriving and coming and going, and it's all in Brooklyn. They just dress the streets.
Oh,
and
fabulous.
yeah.
It's so authentic. Every single frame looks like a photograph.
What,
Do you worry about keeping the audience on your side, on the character side, ever?
No. I worry that they understand why I do something,
Right.
but they don't have to like it.
Yeah, I never worry about keeping an audience on my character side because I feel like that's what makes her interesting. But what I try to do is make her human so that they can relate to whatever it is she's doing, whether they agree with it or not.
When you first came on board, how did it come about, and why did you say yes?
I was a little obsessed with this idea of what does it mean to be a first wife, and this Hilda Spitzer thing had just happened in New York where our governor was caught with prostitutes, and there she was. And I remember watching this woman standing behind her husband, and she was just hollow. There was nothing in it. You could just see she wanted a sinkhole to happen. And so when I read the script, you know, their idea of the script was what happened in the green room after that press conference. And I loved the idea of this woman who's, it's sink or swim, which I had done before.
And you said yes on the one script as well?
One script.
You
That
said
was it.
yes, and then?
Well, Ridley Scott is our executive producer, and I went into the office to discuss it, and I said, I'm worried. I'm worried that this will be network, that it won't stay true to the pilot, that yes, this is all fine and good, and it takes people 2 years to write a pilot, and then they're gonna have to write an episode every week. And he was great. He just stood up and he goes, oh, don't be so stupid, just do it.
I mean, in terms of like the amount of episodes you shoot in one thing, have you developed like a stamina skill set to get through it?
I feel like you have to be, if you're doing 22 episodes and you're the lead, you have to be an Olympian. That's how I look at it.
No, for sure.
What was the role that you feel like suddenly changed your career?
Well, I started in TV. I haven't done TV for a long time. I did a lot of TV.
I didn't know that.
Yes, I did a lot of TV in England when I was young. The whole thing of becoming an actor for me was theatre. It wasn't anything else.
Right.
And I left and I did plays, and then I landed a TV show called Chancer, which was very big at the time. I remember it kind of rocked me. Sort of come from nowhere, and suddenly I was on this big TV show with posters everywhere. The whole thing of like, you know, being scrutinized and looked at and all of that. And also, especially in the UK, tabloids were much more interested in TV than they were film. You know, people that were on TV, that was much more juicy for them, you know.
Right.
So there was a lot of that kind of attention. And, but it was obviously a big break for me. But I remember very consciously, way back then, kind of withdrawing from that as soon as I could. And I, you know, started to do little films, and I did this tiny film, Croupier.
I saw it.
Which
Loved it.
was really small, like was made for under $1 million, didn't really get properly released in the UK, but somebody in America loved it and championed it and got a release, and it became a kind of small indie.
It was like a cult hit.
Yeah.
I mean,
and it changed my career. It was that kind of opened the door.
isn't that amazing? Just
Yeah.
one person. It took one person to say, no, I want to bring that out in America.
So what was your big?
I was just visiting my boyfriend at the time in LA, and I got a wee little part in a pilot called ER where my character died. And I died in the pilot, and I got my ticket home, and when I got home, George Clooney left me a message on my machine. Back then, we had answering machines, not cell phones. And he said, I think your character's gonna live. And I was like, how? I died in the pilot. Somehow they made me live.
Wow. So they liked what you did and said and changed it. And said,
Yeah, Steven Spielberg apparently and Michael Crichton, they were watching the pilot, and they said, and the way the director shot my death, they did it all through George Clooney's eyes, who had been my boyfriend. So suddenly my character got elevated to people caring about her, because I only had, in a 2-hour pilot, I had 7 minutes of screen time.
Yeah, but you must have been good in it if they switched the ending.
I don't know, but he was. He looked sad. So I moved out to LA, and that was a bizarre experience too, because I had no idea. And it was a huge hit. It was 44 million viewers in the first
I used
week.
to watch it, I know.
And within a month, we were on the cover of Newsweek. I mean, it was bizarre. And so I was 26, you know, and I was like, well, it just blew up.